It's not exactly a secret that cubes are a common shape in Minecraft. The monsters are cubes, the clouds are cubes, the world is cubes. Because of this, it's pretty common to see the collision of a block as a cube. If you're lucky, you'll see something a little more fancy like half a cube or three-quarters of a cube. Over time, though, I've noticed some block collision that's a little more funky, and I wanted to share it. As a disclaimer, this is not a very useful video. Funky block hitboxes have some uses, like lining up entities in specific ways, and I'm going to touch on some more of the useful ones later, but I'm mostly just making this video for the heck of it. I think it's kind of fun to know all the funky little dudes. Second disclaimer, I'll be using the word hitbox to refer to what's probably more correctly called collision. This is because I don't care enough to differentiate the two for the entire video, and hitbox is easier to say than collision. I hope anyone who does care finds it in their heart to forgive me. First off, let's start with some of the basic ones, some things that aren't as interesting. There are a bunch of blocks that are able to change their hitbox based on what's surrounding them, like stairs, fences, bars, walls, you know these guys. Fences and bars are kind of boring in this regard, since they don't do all that much. Walls were almost interesting, but unfortunately they turned out to be boring. I had the thought that you might be able to clip through if it changed while you were in it because of the, like, middle bit that gets added. I thought that might act like a trapdoor sort of thing, where if it changes and you're in it the right way, you can just, like, walk on through. But it seems like the hitbox isn't replaced. There just end up being more hitboxes added on top of it, so you can't clip through, unfortunately. That would have been really fun. Stairs can be some fun because you can make all sorts of fun shapes with them. In terms of them changing, though, that can be used to make funky wall staircases that pop out of seemingly nowhere by making them connect to other stairs next to them in the wall. With this setup, pushing out your target stair will keep the wall intact while turning the stair back into a proper stair. Putting a bunch of these into a flat wall will let you create a staircase out of seemingly thin air, which can be pretty fun. Moving on, there are some blocks that have a more functional hitbox. Blocks like mud and soul sand are just barely less than a full block in height, meaning hoppers are able to suck items through them. Especially good with mud, since some things like pumpkins, melons, sugarcane are able to grow on mud, so you can just like break them, have it fall into a hopper underneath. Helps with compacting things. Similarly, chests and honey blocks are good for lining up items across two blocks so that they don't get stuck inside any hoppers they move over. One more for the functional guys. I mentioned fences and bars already, but they're pretty good for getting mobs between blocks. Handy if you've got like a snow golem in a snow farm, or you just kind of feel like doing that to a villager. I won't judge. Enough of that. It's time for the weird ones. First up is snow layers. They pretty clearly change the height of their hitbox, but it's always an eighth of a block below the top of the snow. With one layer, it doesn't have a hitbox, and with a full 8 layers, it'll act similar to mud and soul sand, even though it looks exactly like a normal block of snow. Next up is the mob heads. They all have the same hitbox, except for one. Can you guess which one is different? It's not the dragon head. For some reason, the dragon head is the same hitbox as all of the other normal heads, but the piglin head gets a slightly larger hitbox. I don't know why, but sure, why not? On a different note, carpet. There's nothing super weird about its hitbox. It's pretty skinny, but fairly standard otherwise. I just wanted to talk about carpet. Did you know that it can be moved by pistons? I figured it would just be broken and pop off as an item like leaves or repeaters or anything else. Also, they need support from below to stay around, so that much is pretty clear, but they are very loose about what that support has to be. I knew about this to some extent, since putting carpet on string is a common way to make it look like it's floating, and I've hidden candles under carpet for mood lighting, but apparently as long as the block below it isn't air, it'll be supported. This includes water, lava, and fire. You can just place carpet on top of these. The fire will set the carpet on fire, though, so while it does look kind of cool, it might not be the best choice of decoration. It's perfectly fine with lava, though. I don't know what you're gonna do with that, but it works just fine. To finish things off, one more funky hitbox. Probably one of the funkiest hitboxes, the grindstone. As you've probably seen in the game, most blocks have a hitbox that's a rectangular prism. In some cases, these hitboxes will be more simple than the block model may suggest, like with campfires or multiple sea pickles. This is not the case for the grindstone, though. The hitbox of the grindstone is exactly as you see it. That means there's a gap between the legs that you can see with small enough entities. That means you can step up an upside down grindstone using the 2 pixel outcrop from the wooden support on the side. You can make stairs using grindstones by aligning yourself up using fences and walls. I don't know why this of all things has drawn my attention, but here we are. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna cut it there. I did find more funky hitboxes while I was looking. I just don't want this video to run on for too long. And also, there's no and also, probably cut that part. If this was interesting to you at all, for one, you should probably get that checked out. But for two, I'm glad I could entertain you with my silly ramblings about funny blocks in the funny block game. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and have fun doing some redstone.